Hello, welcome to the Magic of Boot, 52nd episode. This is Ronnie. I have Shudipta. Shudipta, how are you?
I just told you. I had an accident, but it's okay.
It's okay. It's okay. It happens. Life itself is an accident. But
Yeah, but I'm holding up like Osman Dembele this season.
well, that doesn't really give a very clear answer. I mean, Usman Dembele is
Yeah,
hot and cold.
sort of. Actually, basically, my days are like this,
Okay.
more or less.
Okay, fair enough. We're supposed to cover Bundesliga, La Liga, and a bit of whatever we can cover. But let's jump in. Where you want to start?
From Bundesliga.
For sure.
Um, I last time we were talking, like I wanted to how can I say um analyze a team,
Hmm.
and I choose actually Freiburg
Okay.
this time.
Okay.
Um, so many reasons how they are playing. Actually, they were top of like top was top of like one of the top
Hmm.
four team
Hmm.
in Bundesliga right now. But
I think in the third,
um,
if I'm not wrong. Yeah.
um, I guess it changed this weekend or last weekend. I forgot
Okay.
actually. But yeah, they were sitting on third. Um, or fourth probably. I'm not sure. I haven't actually checked the point table, but yeah, let's jump into it. Yeah, I want to share the board. So this team,
Just a second. It's
it, it
not came yet.
oh okay,
Uh, you have shared, right?
no, wait, yeah, can you see?
Not yet. It's coming. Yeah,
Yeah,
slowly. It's yeah,
just a moment.
for sure.
Yeah, they were only 2 points behind of Union Berlin, and anything can happen this season so far. Yeah. Uh, what what is so interesting about this team is like they can actually play in different formations and get away with it. And there are some interesting key players actually. And but um, you're if you are building a perfect team,
Hmm.
uh, like this team actually shouldn't depends on anyone.
No, it should be the
Mm.
team itself.
It, yeah, the team itself. And this is actually what is happening with Freiburg, and they changed all those personals, like especially in the midfield and in attack, but not in defense, because like some positions, like this position is played by Ginter, if you
Hmm. Hmm.
remember,
Hmm.
and this position is played by Gunter. um, and both Ginter and Gunter are like, so how can I say, the
Yay,
two,
young.
yeah, two G's, I guess I would say.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Gunter, I think he can actually like how can I say, like he should actually be called up to the World Cup. Um,
Uh, do we have the numbers of Mr. Hansi Flick?
I'm not sure, but he will probably go with Guzen. But what this guy can do, I think it's one of the most important. Like he's the most important part, so probably because how if well, let me mention something like they can actually play 4-4-2,
Hmm.
like they played against Bayern Munich in 4-4-2,
Mm-hmm.
kinds of like a flat 4-4-2, with two strikers. Um, they can actually create all sort of triangles in this area, sort of like this area, with this gentleman name. Let me check just a moment. Um, what's his name? Yeah, Grifo. This guy played in the left wings. Sometimes he played as a sort of like if they are playing like a 3-5-2 or 3-4-2-1 or something like that. He played as a left attacking midfielder in this sort of
More
position.
towards
But
interior.
yeah, so sort of like that. Whenever they are playing like a three in the back, if he's playing, then
Mm-hmm.
he would be this position. But like so many people can play this role or play his roles. He's like nobody in this like whole six positions are not like in how can I say, they are actually replaceable. um, and that actually makes this team more interesting. Like you cannot predict what you can get, like what exactly you can get, but you will get the performance. Like you for sure like get certain sort of performance, and that then they can actually play like three in the back with this sort of uh, like build up like 3-2 uh, 4-1 or something like that, because all of those players actually try to uh, line up in this sort of area. And but whatever formation they are playing, it doesn't matter. They will try to push. They will try to catch the ball, and one of those striker always like lurking there, and they're really good in second ball. And also, one of the thing was most interesting is that, like I mentioned, Gunter, what he does if they are playing like a two four in the back, he actually he becomes like a overlapping fullback. He comes to this sort of position and create all sort of like a triangle with these sort of players, and most of their attacks are like from this side, and most of their chance creation was actually from this side. And it actually like whoever playing in the left, this guy is responsible that for that. And another thing is that like they are like really happy sitting in deep if they're playing against a team like Bayern Munich or Borussia Dortmund or someone like that actually. But they can actually they have like really quick shift, and whoever playing in the striking position, I'm saying like whoever because like 2 3 4 people like actually can play like a striking position, like Gregory Tish or Kiere. Kiere can I have seen him playing like a number 10 sometimes. Like one of those 90s strikers. He can
Mm-hmm.
play
Mm-hmm.
like a second striker or something like that. And there is this another guy. His name is Jiong. Um, um, actually his position is like a really interesting one. He normally play if they're mostly they're trying to build up sort of like a 4-2-3-1 position. So this defensive midfielder, they create sort of like a uh, three 3-2-4-1. Sorry, yeah, 3-2. Yeah, 3-2-4-1 sort of like a build up, so that like they can retain the ball and continue to attack. But mostly with like a smaller team, but with bigger team they have like this transition, like quick transition, and it's so fluid actually. uh, mm, how can I say, like it's not actually there weren't any sort of like a shape, but most of the time they try to do it in the this sort of area, and whoever playing in this striking role or like a attacking midfielder role or like a second striker role, they can actually receive the ball or create sort of like a um, stalemate with the center backs or like whoever there, and try to bring up their how can I say, all those four players in this sort of position, and continue to attack or continue to counter attack actually. And one of the most interesting threat from them is actually on the set pieces. You cannot get, like predict where will be. Then they were like so orchestrated in those sort of set pieces, um, and you cannot actually predict anything literally. And another funny thing is about this team is like this weakness of this team is also set pieces, and also like like one of those goals um, the Pele scored in 60s. Like he was lurking behind, and there were like masses of people like in the box, and they actually conceded a few goals like that. And sometimes when they are playing as team who is like good retaining ball in this sort of area, like from their side actually, like this sort of area, they actually suffered because of the quality of midfielder. They are actually like functional, but more effective, but not like that much skillful. Um, so yeah, that's so far in short, like Freiburg.
Yeah,
Um,
I've seen
if you
a
want to,
few games in. I think not few games. I mean, obviously in Bundesliga, and I think they're in the Europa League as well. Um,
actually
wo-
they were actually group champion in the in their Europa League group. And also like that is another thing, like teams like Freiburg and how can I say, like Frankfurt this season, they are actually playing completely different team for Bundesliga and
and for
how
the
can I say,
Europa or Europe.
for Europe, Europa League or Europe, sorry. Uh, uh, but what interesting is that what was the most interesting part is that like they use different personnel, but their quality of playing is in the at the same level.
Yeah, I
And
just don't understand how these German teams keep doing it.
actually they are doing so like really really basic things, like defend with all of the men, like except probably one or two players,
Hmm. Hmm.
try to break in try to find the open positions, and they are like really closed in the build up because of their, if they are sitting deep, they are like really close in the build up. So like, and there are like multiple people, like I mentioned Gunter, he's basically the fullback or sometimes like a wing back. But what he does this season is like it's not, he's not like attacking threat like probably I would say like prime Jordi Alba or stuff like that, but he's sort of or even Guzens. But what he does is like he's like really good in retaining position in the higher up in the pitch, and also he linked up with the defensive midfielder or like a central midfielder, and the wingers, and whoever playing in this side are like 3 4 players, and he can like he was the defensive node of the position, and sometimes he becomes in a way like a creative deep 10 for this side. So um, this is actually really interesting. Um, what I found, like it is, and they can play like 3 4. I have seen them playing like 3 4, 3 3 4 3 5 2, or 4 4, 4 4 2 1 1, 4 4 2 3 1. But normally they try to how can I say, like make a four in the back, or sort of like a defensive position. But other German teams more comfortable. Like sometimes if they're playing against big teams, they're more comfortable in like three in the back for some reason.
Yeah, it's just the other day I think I was reading about Christian Stretch is his name, the coach.
Mhm.
He seems like quite a veteran. I mean, obviously he played, and but his tactical switch seems to be fairly. How should I put it? He's very astute in terms of tactical switches. He does it within the games. He can read pretty well. I guess he has fairly functional team that sprints well. That's part of German culture at this point. And the transition, as you mentioned, is one of the key factors of any team that is winning in Europe or doing well in Germany. I think of late.
Actually, even though some teams are like outside of like European zone
Hmm.
right now in the league,
Hmm.
but they are playing so many similar sort of football right now. For example, a little bit different, I would say, like Bayer Leverkusen trying to
Hmm.
play because of the Spanish influence and like Xavi Alonso right now is the coach. So, but except for that, like other teams, well, even Bayer Leverkusen is also like good in transition.
Hmm.
Like it's important if you are playing in German, any sort of German leagues or any levels of German league. It's really important, and any team actually can punish because of that actually.
And how quick is a transition normally? We're speaking like couple seconds, 3 seconds,
Normally it's like 4 to 5 seconds.
right?
But it's a little bit faster than Lionel Messi. If Messi is playing in for Barcelona, I think JJ Bull from Tifo actually mentioned it in a video. Like it's like a 8 second maneuver
No, no, no.
from
Messi is
difference of
different. Messi plays in
yeah,
his own time zone.
but yeah,
Uh,
but for that compared to that, actually, it's like a
it's
little bit fast.
faster.
Like
It's direct. Yeah.
yeah,
There's
it's a
there's
little bit.
less 1-2, I guess, and less passes.
Actually, there are one twos. What I mentioned in the left side of the pitch, like
Yeah, on that overload.
especially in that side. Actually,
Yeah.
they try to overload, and thing is that like normally teams can like shift players in those sort of area like slowly and try to build up something, and then they shift suddenly, and so that like these players can get like 1v1 situations with the wing backs or someone who is playing. But for Freiburg, they are actually sort of, how can I say, they can do it like in seconds, like mm, if if you know what I mean. Like
Yeah.
they can transition from this defensive, how can I say, defensive zone to attacking zone in like 3 to 4 seconds and try to complete the maneuver in like 5 seconds.
Right.
Um, so it's sort of like a 5 seconds policy or stuff like that actually.
Yeah, I think they've
And
practiced a lot.
yeah, and another thing is what I want to mention, like managing a club in Freiburg. Um they, I probably shared you a documentary if you remember.
Yeah.
So like it's like the coach is getting backed up by
Mm.
like local supporters like so much he can actually like do such things freely in the club,
Okay. There's a question. So normally, if that happens, normally coach gets into more kind of pressure. But again, I understand German league and German teams are different because these are not part of the corporation. They're more kind of somehow connected to the local people and the
yeah.
supporters. There are certain teams other than Germany too. In Spain, there are some teams too, but not many, not many. So this is very different than someone who's connected to the um, coach. He would normally feel pressure, right?
It's not like that actually because the coach the coach and the players actually know, like they are getting promoted like for a while, and they're getting, how can I say, like finishing a little bit like more up, like their trajectory is upward, even but they knows that like they know that like if they don't perform that much well, uh, the the supporters will be there for like not to criticize them, just but they just let it go. So like,
They'll be there for in the bad times too.
yeah, of course, like
Yeah.
this is the thing. And also like they have only like 35,000, like yeah, 2 years ago they have like 35,000 supporters, like club members,
Yeah.
like a really hardcore like
Yeah.
club members. Those are like basic, like um and yeah, I saw them like whenever they're going in a city, it's like okay, they are there, um and but not like I met so far like Liverpool supporters or some other English clubs or Spanish club even sometimes, like in groups, but they are sort of like a nicest one, um like last weekend there was this Hertha Berlin game, probably like not not the last weekend, the weekend before. um
Here's a question.
yeah.
So all the German fans I've seen in any football game
Mhm.
always has their mug of beer. Um, do they have anything else in Germany, like a local champagne or something like that?
Yeah, of course, like every like Freiburg is actually famous for they have wine actually in
Okay.
that area. But they have also beers, like like in
Every
Germany
region
there
has
are,
a different kind of.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, like in Germany so far there were like 5,000 types of beer was listed.
Okay.
So so it's a sort of a and yeah, you can tell like other any other clubs, they always wear their scarves
Hmm.
all the time. It's sort of like normal thing, but for German teams, like it's beer is sort of like
Yeah, it's a
mandatory.
huge jug of
Yeah.
beer normally. I've seen any German uh, in any football game I've seen is with that. So yeah, yeah. Thank you for putting this together. That gives an idea about um, how they're doing well. But it's good on the board, but they're doing it in the field, week and week out, and nobody actually expected much from Freiburg. If you ask me,
Well,
last
well, they will.
yeah.
Yeah, they will be in talk probably like if they make it to probably quarter final of the Europa League or something like that, then English media will have pay some attention. Like, okay, this is like some sort of club we need to follow or stuff like that. Or if they play in English against an English team, I don't know. Probably not because well, probably Manchester United if they like pass the next level or something like that. Other than that, like I'm not seeing them. People talking about them for like next 2 3 months, I would say.
That's a good part because I was watching on the Man United legend Paul Scholes being asked who should Man United should avoid in the hopefully in the draw, and he chose Barcelona with good reason to avoid. But there was Freiburg on that list, and I can
They
assure you.
should not actually. They should not actually. No, it's not like, because they will get like outrun by those
Yeah,
that team actually.
yeah.
You
So
know.
so yeah. No disrespect to Paul Scholes, but yeah, I don't think he's watching. Um,
No,
and and
I can actually imagine that. Like, Freiburg is sort of like in the middle of Black Forest. Like they did not even have like floodlights and anything in 90s, in 2000s, and there were like funny article like they did not want to be in the Bundesliga because like then they have to make some sort of like an expense and make some sort of like a renovation in the stadium. We mentioned that I like for when we were covering Union Berlin
Hmm.
because they're the gallery of Union Berlin is basically they are standing. They are the for the local supporters. You know, like they are just standing. You know, like and it's like, you know, uh, have you watched this 300 movie?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So like it's sort of like being in that sort of Sparta. Like, what is your profession? Who? It's sort of like that actually. So, um, and for Freiburg, it's like how can I say? Their stadium. They have actually a new stadium right now, probably, if I'm not mistaken. Capacity is not that, probably 35 to 55,000, and they don't actually need that much because like most of the time all those like 35 to 40,000, if are new club members, probably that sort of, they always go to the how can I say, like the games, but you don't actually expect them actually like um that much. And I can understand Paul Scholes have no idea about, because when he was playing Freiburg, Freiburg was not even in the Bundesliga or in talks of any league or anywhere. So I can understand that, but you don't want to play them in the
You
Europa
know,
League.
it would be it'd be bad. Let's put it that way. Coming back to Bundesliga standing right now, I mean, obviously, Bayern Munich is never out of it in terms of race. Um, but I think Union Berlin's still enjoying the run.
Yeah, I guess they lost a game 1 or 2 weeks ago. That's why Bayern Munich is like 1 point, can I say,
Distance. Yeah,
behind. Yeah,
yeah.
like sort of like breathing in the neck, and well, everyone was telling like, okay, Union Berlin won't be there. It's sort of like they are sort of like Arsenal in the uh,
Or Udinese of
Bundesliga,
the Syria.
or yeah, or Napoli of the Syria
Okay,
now.
okay, fair enough. Uh, but Napoli is
But
doing so well. I mean, almost outplaying anyone. But this table looks like more kind of very competitive. Is it? Can we say it's the most competitive league at this point?
right now it is actually it's I like mm, in the weekends when I like try to watch the games, like I thought like, okay, these two are big team, the match would be fun, but in the end, if the big team is playing against someone,
Mm.
I don't know, someone else, uh, that game actually was more interesting. Like like top in the top eight team, anyone can beat anyone right now. It's it's sort of like how can I say, and also like teams can get like really outrun, even like teams like Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund, and also like I would say um, like five
Yeah,
substitute in a match.
I've
It's
seen
like
that. I've seen Stuttgart
it's like
overrun Bayern Munich. Yeah. Uh,
also like substitute I mentioned before
yes.
in a match. It's like giving the German teams to run freely.
Yeah.
You know?
Like you can have five more lunges
Yeah, exactly.
to run. But I didn't really realize. It just struck me right now that Leverkusen is actually sitting almost on the danger zone.
Yeah, that's why they brought Xavi Alonso. They were actually really horrible throughout the season. Even I'm not sure like if, well, they played against. Let me check. There was an interesting game against Wolfsburg. It was like 2-2, like 2 weeks ago, probably. Um, yeah, that game was like really close, but there were some decisions actually went against them. So they can kind of find them unhappy. But the thing is that like uh, with the quality of player they have,
Mhm,
they
mhm.
will come back. or
for
bounce
sure.
back if they continue to follow or try to find a, because what I'm so far I am saying, like seeing that like Xavi Alonso is trying out players, but he because he did not have any preseason, so
Hmm.
he needed to know some players, and there were really good midfielders in the team. Um, so let's hope actually, but uh, other than that, actually, I had actually hopes for uh, what was the team, Schalke,
Hmm.
but I think they actually changed their coach probably recently as well.
They're
They're
sitting
not
on the
really
bottom,
doing.
right?
Yeah, probably they will go down again, more likely.
Yep.
Bremen made some surprise win, but I'm not sure about them as well.
We're talking about Werder Bremen.
Better Bremen, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, it does seem like very tight on the top two. Yeah, almost like 7, 8 position. It's not really much, like 8 points.
Yeah, true. Actually, like so many teams are really close, and Bayern Munich lost so many points because of that. What I have said, like
But do you
they
think
can outrun teams.
exactly? Just a curious question because of the budget of the Bayern Munich compared to the other team in the league. Maybe Borussia Dortmund is fairly close too, but not as much as Munich. If they cannot get the Bundesliga for what one, how long they're winning it? I can't even remember.
10 years
10 years, right?
in a
So
row. Yeah.
if they can't win it this season, is it going to be a huge news?
It will be a huge news, but because only one problem, little bleep will be probably there will be some change in the management, and right now I don't like that management,
Yeah, I know.
but you can say like I am bad mouthing my ex or something like
Yeah,
that.
because yeah, kind of like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but yeah, Oliver Kahn as a manager is not that actually good. Like what we have seen from Bayern Munich manager like Rummenigge or probably um, was there like a season Matthias, yeah. Um, what we have seen from them actually, they were in different level, and there were mismanagement in like player contract, and also um, it was not actually sustainable, and the COVID actually hit hard a lot. But
if
they have like more than like probably 35% TV rights in Bundesliga,
okay.
so that
Just
would be a problem a little bit.
on that note, I think a lot of Bayern Munich players will be playing. Hopefully, will be playing for German national team in the World Cup.
Mhm.
And I think is Leroy Sané being injured, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, yeah. That situation is not. Uh, Leroy Sané's injury is not that serious right now,
Okay,
but
Manuel Neuer.
last Neuer's, I'm not sure actually about Neuer. I actually haven't checked,
Okay,
but so far I know
Leipzig's.
Leipzig's what's his name, the Chelsea striker
Were
Werner.
yeah,
Yeah, Werner is out of the World Cup,
yeah.
and
That's a sad one.
that is the sad one actually. So um, let's see. That is actually the only card they have, like younger striker. So they need to adjust. And he was in form actually. Last 7 8 games, he was performing a
Yeah,
little bit well,
he started to
and he was
fill into.
actually crucial against that Real Madrid game. So I'm not sure actually. but like there are so many players are getting injured
Yeah,
this
yeah. We'll
around this
get back to that
time.
at the end
Yeah,
end of the after we
yeah.
finish. So can we probably just move into La Liga and see what's
No, no,
happening?
I want to mention two matches.
Okay,
I'm not sure
sure.
if you watched that game. Um, uh, Eintracht Frankfurt against Dortmund.
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay. So like mm, that guy Daichi Kamada
Mm-hmm.
from Japan,
Mm-hmm.
he actually scored a stunner from outside of the box.
I saw
Um,
that goal somehow.
yeah, he should actually one of the best goals in that weekend. Um, and the thing is that like there was a moment they were actually sitting in on top of Dortmund, and but Dortmund managed to score because from a counter attack. But there was this moment this player, I guess, someone from Frankfurt team was like pushed um, like from behind. I guess and any other case it would be a penalty, you know. But the referee even did not even probably check the VR or VAR even check that, but it should be actually a penalty because uh, the guy who was on the ball, he was about to shoot and someone came from behind and pushed him. It's probably Adiami. He pushed him from behind and he just fall. And whom else was tackling him? The ball went away, and he when he was falling and he got like touched the ball with his hand, and referee actually gave the free kick instead of the penalty. So and I didn't understand, and that actually was the crucial moment for the match because like after that, uh, Dortmund scored another goal and they got away with it. And right now, like if you remember, Frankfurt is so hostile stadium. It's probably the most
One of them. Yeah.
hostile, one of the most in Europe and the most in probably Germany. Like
Okay.
nobody wants to play there, you know. Uh, so it actually sums up like the expression after the match from the Dortmund coach is like he he was as if like they won the World Cup or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense.
And there was another game. It was a, I would say, fine drama right now. Union Berlin won in their own stadium against Borussia Mönchengladbach,
Mm-hmm.
and Gladbach uh, Gladbach is playing actually well this season. Like last few games actually, especially, and he and one of the interesting thing about um, Gladbach is like there were some players like they who were like sort of like were seen like 4 or 5 years ago like a future of German football like Weigel and like Stindl,
Mm-hmm.
um, and they did not actually made it through, but they are playing for Gladbach and they are on form. Both of the those midfielders, I like them a lot. But it was a funny game, actually, because at first Gladbach scored and whatever Union Berlin was doing, they are denying the chances. Like Gladbach was that like I haven't seen any team played that how can I say dominance football like defensively especially other than Bayern Munich this season in Union Berlin Stadium so far, and like they broke the deadlock about like 70 80 79 80 around this time 80 minutes, and there was this last shot like it was sort of from a corner probably I so far I remember and it went in, you know, like from a header. It was the last shot of the game and they won it anyway. It was like 90 plus 7 minutes, you know.
Yeah.
So it was a fun game to watch actually, because there were so many attacks and both of the team were like really quick in transition and they were denying them like whenever any like other team sitting defensively. It was fun to watch actually. It is a brilliant game. I would recommend.
Uh, yeah. Problem with the Bundesliga highlights though is it's too short.
Actually, like if you follow Dazen, they have
Okay.
like in German commentary, but they have like bigger. How can I say?
But doesn't has a different geographical location.
Yeah, actually they are for Europe, but you can get. I'm
No,
not sure about that.
doesn't Canada has certain that is available. Say, for example, doesn't Italia has something very different. But yeah, I'll
Oh,
figure it out. Yeah, no, not a problem.
okay.
But yeah, those sounds fun games actually.
Yeah, they have like there will be some interesting game in this weekend. Like Augsburg is sort of like a giant killer in the league. They will face Frankfurt this weekend today actually, and Leverkusen is going to play Union Berlin. And another thing is that like Bayern Munich is visiting Berlin again. They will play
Harta.
Hertha.
Yeah.
Al- Although this match is sort of like X is dating someone like worse than you, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, like they will get a like last year game Bayern Munich sort of like in their zone, and
Yeah.
they seemed it felt like they seemed
Whoever plays
figure it all out.
Barcelona and
Yeah,
gets win gets back into the zone. That's happened with Inter Milan.
yeah, yeah, that's the thing. Like win against a big team always is sort of like a mood booster or something like that.
Yeah. Um, but shall we move on?
Yeah.
Um, La Liga. La Liga. So just to start before going anywhere else, Gerard Pique is one of the iconic Spanish and La Liga and Barcelona defender. Announced retirement after this weekend game against Almeria. Uh, so this will be his last game for Barcelona. End of an era.
You can see that coming actually. Yeah, of course. Yeah, end of an era actually. He was there for so many famous Barcelona win. Also, he was there for so many losses actually.
Yeah, yeah.
uh, yeah, as well. If you remember his shaved head against that Bayern Munich team, um, and that 4-0 defeat
No,
was
no, no.
there.
Obviously,
But
but
also he scored in El Clasico that 6-2 victory, um, and when he was in his prime, compared to Franz Beckenbauer
yeah,
for so many reasons, like
yeah,
for going forward and stuff like that. But last, I guess, like when he turned 30, he actually suffered for that lack of speed and against faster teams. But he was there for like last 15 years uh, or 14 years, I'm not sure.
it sounds like more than that actually. But it could be because I remember him in the Manchester United some of the games when he was
Oh yeah, man. Like yeah, he was coming like the season before Ronaldo
right.
was coming. He was actually breaking into the team.
Yeah. But yeah, what an iconic figure is going out this weekend. But speaking of that, I mean, Barcelona and Real Madrid are basically who are fighting in the top. But Real Madrid had a draw last weekend against Girona. Um,
Okay, I have actually a question.
yeah, go ahead.
Like, which one was the most surprising result? Like Real Madrid versus Girona, or like which one? Sociedad versus Betis, or um, Cadiz versus Atletico Madrid?
I would say Cadiz versus Atletico Madrid. To be honest, I mean I know Atletico was not in great form, but Cadiz is Cadiz is actually fighting relegation at this point. They're one of the horrible teams in the La Liga, but finding a
Well, they
way.
played well against Barcelona, if you remember.
They did, but that stoppage, if you remember, there was a one patient on the stadium, and then after that
Yeah.
stoppage, they've lost the concentration. Game started within 7 minutes. They've conceded three goals. So, uh, but my point is that I mean Atletico Madrid, although they have made a statement that the club and everyone is behind Mr. Diego Simeone. But El Cholo, I think, had a very rough week. Not just because of this defeat, but also in the Champions League. The way that
Also, like I think he's not getting the player, that sort of player he wanted to play with. He wants to play with. Like and some of the players are older right now, and they are sort of like irreplaceable, sort of like a Barcelona situation. If you
ev- ever since Mr. Burgos have left as an assistant coach, I did not see El Cholo being El Cholo like on his team.
sort of, but yeah, like it sounds.
It, it could
He
be.
doesn't have a. It doesn't seems like we are watching Atletico Madrid game or something like that. They lost their identity completely, and they are trying to figure it out, all of them uh, together. But
Well,
it's
they
not
get some
happening.
exciting players, and then they decide to play in certain ways. That doesn't really explain the strength of these players.
Yeah, that is another thing, like the transfer policy. You know, like if you, well, I can
I
understand
could
like.
never understand why they have gone and bought this young fella called Joao Felix in 126 million.
Well, I can understand that because they had money, and the
But
Spanish teams are
in
were like.
120 million, I mean, he could have bought almost anyone at that point. And they've also been notorious for signing some of the aging strikers. I mean, David Villa give them the title, Luis Suarez give them the title, but there has to be some new bloods coming from within the team. Like, say for example, when the Gabi was captain, there was still Koke was coming as a youngster. I don't see that with this Atletico team. There's not much fresh bloods on there, and whoever is coming, whoever they're purchasing, it seems like a mismatch.
Also, like there were some academy players who were actually sold to uh, other league clubs
Yeah,
because of the 18 years. Like, when I say, like there was a age limit for La Liga, if you
yeah,
remember
yeah,
that,
yeah,
because
yeah,
like so many players are cannot do professional contracts before 18. And
yeah.
I think in UK they can actually offer like from 16. I think it's the same
Six,
for France,
yeah.
and I'm not sure about Germany, but France, Italy, they have similar rules. So like, especially like playing in French team right now is sort of like lucrative in some way for young players, because they are getting more game times there. So academy players are leaving, and they know that like Cholo is not giving chances to the fresh blood. He's not like that guy. So it's better to leave than like when he was
And Cholo
16
is
or
there to
17.
stay. Cholo is not
Yeah,
gonna go
of
away.
course.
So that's the other part, and I'm kind of afraid of for Giuliano Simeone, who plays in the Atletico B team. He's probably the better player in all Simeone. Like he probably is a better player than his dad and his brother. But he's up and coming, and I'm just
How old
scared.
is he?
I think he's 18 or 19. He's very
Okay.
good actually. Whatever I've seen.
I haven't actually watched him.
So my my biggest fear is his dad is going to be the biggest roadblock for him. So he has to go somewhere else in order to play. And
Actually, he will get like if the all those brothers have like similar agent, they will get a team, or he will get a team in Italian league, or probably for
let me
I
search
don't
his
know Sampdoria or some
age
club.
actually. He's 19, and
Okay,
he's playing for Real Zaragoza at this point on loan from from Atletico Madrid B. Uh,
okay. Zaragoza is in the um,
Segunda.
Segunda. Okay, but yeah, like what I'm saying, I guess like it's the age he can because so far I understand like all those Simeones whoever making it through, they suffered a lot, in the beginning, and
Yeah.
El Cholo also suffered a lot like in the beginning.
No, no, no. But
Uh,
he suffered, but he had more playtime when compared to
yeah,
yeah,
exactly. Because there was some coach like what's his name? This guy who was like a father figure for him.
yeah.
Forgot.
This,
Argentinian guy.
are we talking about Carlos Bilardo?
Yeah, Bilardo, of course.
Yeah, yeah,
He had Bilardo, so like they need someone like Bilardo.
yeah.
But Gio Simeone is sort of like getting, well, he's making it through, making some noises. Um, and if he stays in form at the end of the season, probably he will get a new club, or if if Napoli decided to sell, or probably they will sell actually. What's his name? Uh, this guy. What, Oshiman, yeah.
Yeah, Victor Osimhen. Yeah.
Yeah. So like if they sell him, so the fight will be more close, I guess.
But let's get back to Atletico Madrid,
Mm.
or even back to La Liga. So I understand you mentioned about 4 games, but Cadiz versus Atletico Madrid somehow was more. Um,
Because of goals.
uh, because Cadiz were actually looking like more dominating team. uh,
I did not even actually how can I say uh, tell them apart, like
yeah, yeah,
which team is which.
yeah. Fair enough. But other than that, the Real Madrid draw versus Girona. I think the Real Madrid are a very different team, except Benzema. We can all acknowledge that. And Girona actually played really well. If they have taken their chances, they could have easily beat Real Madrid.
There is this funny story running around. I saw that in the newspaper. It's like Real Madrid is scouting Gabriel Jesus, and so but if they sign him, then it will be like all Brazilian attack, you know.
Okay, but aren't they aren't they going for that Palmeiras 16-year-old wonder kid?
Yeah, but they will not actually give him first team chances, like
But they can
not like
loan
any other
loan him
player.
out.
Yeah, yeah, they will do that. They have done it for this guy Kubo or from Japan. Also, if you remember, Odegaard was signed there when he was like 15 or 16. I'm not sure, because Odegaard made his debut actually at the age of 13 in the Norwegian league,
Yes.
and 2 years later, like in at the age of 15, he signed for Real Madrid, and he was loaned it out for I'm not sure, like for 5, 6, 4, 5 years, I guess. But at the end, Arsenal, he he was loaned in Arsenal, and they decided that, like they will go for Valverde, I guess. At the time, they bought him for like 4 million from Uruguay, I guess. Yeah, and they actually put like, well, we can see like how it turns out now. Even like last week, he assisted what's his name, Vinny Junior.
But here's my question: out of all the players, you have Gabriel Jesus. Why the heck you need to scout him? I mean, don't you
No,
know his
actually,
play style?
yeah, but here's this thing. Like Real Madrid, they were actually stocking. If you remember that striker from Germany, they bought. What's his name?
Jovic.
Yeah, Jovic. Yeah, they actually scouted him for a while, um, but it was a failed attempt
How about
because. But
Eden Hazard?
for Eden
That
Hazard, they don't did not actually scout because they everyone knows who Eden Hazard is. But for Jesus, I guess I can understand that because he just um, make a he just made a step over in his career. Like becoming the main striker of the team. So they are actually like how can I say? They are trying to understanding what's going on there. You know.
that reminds me of something. I was just trying to watch a MLS game and I was ironically watching Los Angeles FC, where Gareth Bale plays normally, and I
Mm.
expected him to start. But thanks to Real Madrid bench, he get took accustomed by sitting on bench. He doesn't actually play the game, and I was wondering, like, he doesn't even play the game in MLS, and he's getting a huge sum of money. I mean, this guy is going to go and play for Wales in the World Cup. I understand in few weeks, but he doesn't really feature on the game.
Yeah, I read any news from US actually. I guess like 2 3 weeks back. Mm, Like they expected him a little bit more fit than that he is now. So
He seems fit
they
though. I mean, he never
no,
joined
he
that
looks
real,
fit,
real
but
he never joined the Real Madrid
like
team dinner because it's his bedtime.
yeah. The thing is that like gym fit is not like match fit.
No,
Like
no, I
we
understand.
can
If you
see
keep
from
playing golf,
we
you're
can see
going to
from
get agey very soon here.
yeah. Also, like if you don't need that sort of muscle, like that much muscle if
Yeah,
you're playing professional football. Like um,
maybe nowadays if you're a attacking player, just to bounce off some of that, like Virgil van Dijk or someone, someone of that height and
yeah, not no. I'm not saying like, but what I meant like Cristiano Ronaldo has muscles, even like
Erling
the
Haaland.
muscles. Yeah, Erling Haaland doesn't have that sort of muscle, but he has like a huge physique.
Well,
Like he
let's
has
talk about Robert
he has
Lewandowski. Huge physique. This guy has huge muscle.
actually like yeah, Lewandowski doesn't have. Lewandowski is sort of like if you imagine a perfect footballer body. Lewandowski has that actually. He has the perfect striker's body, not too much, not too little. It's like really perfect, like but um, like for Ronaldo, even Bale had so many muscles in his thigh and other areas. It's like
Jordan
unbelievable.
Shaqiri,
But
right?
Shaqiri has that actually. But thing is that like with those muscles, even like Traore, you don't need bicep to like handle a defender. Like
Talking about that, I just today read Rafinha's actually contacted the trainer who have trained Traore to get some muscle.
actually he need that actually. But um, for that actually like there's Brazilian both of them actually like this Rafinha or Anthony. They need some muscle actually, but it depends. Like muscle is not like the strength. If you um, know what I mean, like if you remember when Neymar came in La Liga, he was uh, like thrown away by
Skinniest,
defenders.
skinniest guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and Barcelona actually helped him to build muscle enough to how can I say,
Withstand some tackles.
yeah, withstands those sort of tackles, especially like those body chargers, especially. Um, uh, Pedri actually got probably a little bit more muscle, like 5%
Mm.
muscle, more muscle than that he had when he was injured. Um, Fatih looked actually well. If you noticed him, a little bit bigger. He looked a little bit bigger, and you needed actually to at certain point, but not too much actually. But what you mentioned for Gareth Bale, uh, we have seen his photos, and they expected a little bit like Kellini was playing more games at game time
Yeah.
probably than than Gareth
True.
Bale
True.
at
Very
this
true.
point.
Very true. Although
So
Chiellini it looks to be not as fit as Gareth Bale.
Kellini looks like if he wears normal like jeans and shirts like us, he will look like a, how can I say, pizza baker from a restaurant or something like that. but but he's more fit than Gareth Bale. It makes sense in a way, like flexing some muscles is not like you are fit or something like that.
Okay.
Okay, I want to mention a funny thing. Like if you have seen like my photo from last 2020, like at the time, I had this photo taken, like I was wearing nothing but a towel or something like that, and it was taken. And for
Inspired
that actually,
inspired from.
it actually inspired from The Witcher. I wanted to see the diets the players, like the actors going through, like, and for that actually I did not. I was dehydrated for like uh, 1 2 2 3 days actually. Yeah, 3 days. Um, I would,
For
my
one
water
picture.
could. No, I wanted to see, like, not for one picture. I wanted to see like if it works, like what they're saying. Like I also tried this Fight Club's diet, which is insane actually. If you follow this for like one 1 week, it's like it doesn't make any sense because then it does stuff to your body. So you can, like, I understand now after that actually, like if there are some things are like picture perfect and some things are like like actually
Actually fit.
fitness, like
Yeah.
I
For
yeah,
work. Yeah.
yeah. But before and after of this photo I was more fit, but that time I was not, but I looked good in the photo. So it doesn't matter. So the thing with what I just mentioned with Kellini is more fit. It makes, if it makes sense.
Nowadays you don't even need there are a lot of, I mean, as we speaking about fitness, and how the people looks, a lot of I mean, what CGI sort of effect makes it enhanced. So yeah, not even going into that, but coming back to Gareth Bale, and his obsession of getting into bench with Real Madrid, started with Real Madrid, and coming back.
Actually, Actually, you should actually contact Gareth Bale's agent because he sold Gareth Bale, you know, like a package, sold this Gareth Bale package to MLS, you know.
Yeah, I guess I have to. I have to visit Los Angeles.
But for LA Galaxy and some other MLS club, like for like Miami, I guess like Brooklyn Beckham is playing there because of his dad. I'm not sure,
Yeah.
and he doesn't look like anything like a football player right now. He's
No,
a
I,
really skinny guy.
his dad actually never looked like a football player too.
Yeah, but David has sort of like even in his 30s, like he played probably last game for in his career for PSG, and he was taken his shirt off, and he looked a lot like, how can I say,
No, he
fit,
was fit.
like,
He was fit. He was fit.
yeah,
That's for sure.
he's still fit, but it's not like the thing I just mentioned is like more like like picture fit or something like that. But the thing is with David, he has like probably ankle injuries at the time, if I'm not mistaken. Um, but Brooklyn is never there, like in any like trial for Arsenal, but he failed in the trial. I guess he was playing in the West Ham Academy. If I'm not mistaken, but he's not like as good as his dad.
Okay.
Nowhere near, no. But the fitness is like what I'm saying. Like LA clubs doesn't sometimes consider those sort of things.
One player we started talking about, I started actually
Mm.
episode about Usman Dembele. Looks like way
Yeah,
more fit. I mean, he's not
and
getting injured.
also, yeah, also he's sort of a little bit muscly, a little bit
Yeah,
bigger.
he
And
got some core muscles in, definitely.
yeah, but for him, it's working so far. Only thing is that like I'm not sure if they can magically. Well, it will come if he plays in different situations and difficult situations, and the decision making will come because it comes with the experience, and that is another thing I want to mention. Like for Jude Bellingham,
Hmm.
and everyone is like, he's from England, and everyone is like, okay, come back to England, play for United and this club or stuff like that is going on in English media for a while. um, Spanish media, there were report like Real Madrid is also um uh, interested in him, um, and so many clubs. And I would say like he should actually stay a little bit more longer in Borussia Dortmund. Not because like
How far is
I would
Dortmund
love to see him
from
in the.
where? How far is
It's too
Dortmund
far.
from Berlin?
It's too far actually. But yeah, like I would love to see him because I can see him anytime because if he's playing in
Yeah.
Union Berlin or Hertha Berlin Stadium. But
Hey Jude, if you're watching this, in case, just stay there.
yeah, but then what I'm saying, if it makes sense, like
But if Liverpool
Erling,
comes calling, right?
he
Uh,
will probably move, but it depends like how the Liverpool seasons itself ends. Um, I'm not sure if they can make it to the top four because how teams are like pushing at this point of the time.
okay, let's bring this whole
Oh
thing
yeah, for the next.
for the La Liga again, La Liga context. The we talked a little bit about everyone about fitness, but Real Madrid especially.
I want to mention a little bit mm, a new thing.
Go ahead.
Have you watched this Javi's interview after Bayern Munich defeat? He was sort of like how can I say, uh, saying like English teams are like right now better than doing better or stuff like that, and Spanish teams are not doing well or stuff like that, and um, uh, that sort of things. And I completely disagree because like last season, Villarreal was one of the four teams who made it to the Champions League semi-final. Um, this season also, like except for Atletico, Barca,
So he said
um,
English teams are better in terms of overall because of financial.
physicality and and financiality and everything, like
Then
technically.
why his team got beaten in Frankfurt?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Also, like if you remember when Xavi came in, he brought players from the English league specifically to raise.
That.
against other La Liga teams. As we were talking about fitness like fitness in La Liga is also like in the top, but the thing is that like there is a sudden shift in football right now
Mhm.
with like five substitutes. Like any teams can overrun. Like I mentioned in the first portion, any team can overrun if they technically run. They don't actually need to how can I say um, outrun the opponents. Like if they technically do that, and La Liga team had like teams had have to adjust those sort of things. And um, Xavi brought all those players from the English league just to get some how can I say uh, how can I say speed in the attacks, but he's playing completely different football this season. So how come he's not even consistent in his philosophy? You know what I mean? Like he's not even you brought like speed stars like a Ferrari, and you are playing sort of like 90s football, you know, like Toyota or something like that. You cannot actually get results in Europe, you know, and it's not Spanish league because like Spanish teams were doing well as well, like in the Europa League as well.
Yeah, yeah. I hear, I kind of hear him, but also don't hear him. Um, it's probably giving more excuses at this point, which is very normal. Um, but coming back to the La Liga standing, I mean, obviously, Real Madrid looks a very different team other than Karim Benzema, and I think you have touched on the right note by saying that they're looking for a striker and they're looking for a Brazilian striker. It's ironic, all the Brazilian that goes for Real Madrid somehow performs way better than those comes in Barcelona. Why is that?
Except Rooney. Yeah, there are certain issues, especially this is the thing I actually thought about a lot. Oh, except for Rivaldo as well. Um,
Romario.
yeah, Romario. Oh, wow. Neymar for a certain point, but from Neymar actually, it was a little bit different because um, I have Brazilian friends actually. I
Mhm.
saw their lifestyle. There are some quiet people as well, but mm, there are also like
There are
most of
some
the players.
Kakas and there are some Ronaldinho.
Yeah, Kakas. The number of Kakas are you
Very
know
few.
uh, very few. Like in academic level, there are actually more Kakas, but sometimes some Kakas were sort of like Kakas in the how can I say in the weekdays and Ronaldinho in the weekends or
Weekends.
stuff
Yeah.
stuff
Yeah.
like that actually. But yeah, like more or less. Brazilian has some sort of like a certain lifestyle, and recently I have been reading like whenever am in the train or stuff like that. One of the topic is image rights. I want to understand what is. I still haven't actually, honestly speaking, but
I have to
I
go
what
through
I understand
Paulo
is like
Dybala's contract.
but so far I understand that like if you have those sort of uh, contract with clubs, and you will get more freedom and more a little bit more money, a little bit flexibility in your lifestyle than the other clubs. And Real Madrid is actually selling this thing, and that's why everyone wants to go to Real Madrid. And at one point it was in Barcelona, and Barcelona was successful at the time, and whoever was coming at the time, and he was doing well because of that sort of image, right? And right now it's like Barcelona even doesn't even have any image left, probably. So but for Real Madrid, it's a different issue. It gives those players a little bit more freedom
Mhm.
in some places, and Vinny Junior has a quiet lifestyle, probably.
You never know.
Yeah, but I mean,
I mean,
it's
yeah,
not like
it
it's
doesn't.
not like Ronnie,
Not like Neymar. Yeah, at least.
not like Neymar as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, yeah.
But he was, if he wants to stay that way, and like,
He's focused on game. Yeah.
yeah,
So
he
is
is
Rodrigo.
actually, yeah, and they are contributing in different level. Like they are getting gaining more skill with experience. That's what I mentioned for Jude Bellingham. Like if they can play more first team matches
Hmm.
and get like more responsibilities, they experience, like Dembele has skills, but after, like, he's like 24, 25 years old, but he hasn't played as much a game as like Erling Haaland played, or for say,
But then we were
um,
talking about very two different kind of players from brain, like IQ level. Usman Dembele, if he start, he doesn't even know what his next move is. He try to cut back, cut back, cut back, or go.
that's what he needs to know. Actually, he needs to know himself at first. Then he will know what is going on. If you have you watched this Lionel Messi interview? Like he was
Which one?
saying, like he was saying like a few days ago, uh, if it's possible, I would love to be 25 again. You know,
Yeah, yeah. I saw that. Yeah.
yeah. At that time, Messi was like doing every sort of thing, and from that time he was like sort of like a from that time he sort of like started being that playmaker we have seen now. You know, so that comes after. By that point, Messi already played 300-400 games in
Oh,
the top
he
level.
was animal. Yeah,
Yeah, and he already played like 300-400 games. He already knew, like, okay, what I'm getting from myself. Dembele does not know that actually. Bellingham is getting clearer and clearer,
for
like what's
sure.
his ability and what is going to be. He's becoming more like, like that Steven Gerrard at the time when Xavi Alonso and Mascherano was in the pivotal role, and Gerrard has to play behind the striker. He's getting that sort of points, and even that time, like Steven Gerrard was like sometimes like he was playing as a pivotal role, and he was pulling it off. So that is the thing comes with like experience, and Dembele does, like Dembele played games, but he's not like consistent. Like he probably played for first time in his life 30 games
Yeah,
last season.
yeah, exactly. And that
So
itself is an achievement.
yeah, of course. Like if he continues to play like 50 games per season for like
But
what we
then,
mentioned, like
no, no,
Lionel
I'm
Messi.
totally fine with that. He's playing that many games and he'll learn. But right now, Barcelona needs someone to actually bigger than just who's learning.
Actually, they don't right now. They're already out of Champions League. So
No, no, still
um,
they need a leader. I mean, there's no leader at the. I mean, you can talk
yeah,
about Lewandowski a bit,
just
but then
to
he's
just
not
to
he's not getting much service, to be honest. He's scoring a goal out of almost like one or
That is
two.
true, but you cannot expect that from Lewandowski or someone whoever just came into the club. Most likely, if you buy a defender like Ruben Diaz or probably Van Dijk or something, someone like that sort of figure who already was a
Or Lisandro Martinez. I go back to that.
of
I go
course.
back to that because that's the ideal player Barcelona could have bought, and they haven't.
And the excuse was because of money, and Lisandro
Eh,
Martinez,
eh,
how much he cost?
55, and how much Eric Garcia cost?
Same. 50 million, yeah,
Actually,
50.
60.
Oh yeah, plus add-ons. Yeah. But I don't understand that actually. But there were some issues in decision makings, like bringing all sort of Spanish player. There was a sort of like that another
Not
issue.
just Spanish players. I saw some rumors that they're after N'Golo Kante. Why is that?
Um, I'm not sure about N'Golo Kante. I haven't read about it, but the thing is that
But then
like
I start to believe about two specific football clubs,
there
especially
there, there
Manchester
was
United
there
and Barcelona,
yeah.
from Twitter, because that's how they are recruiting it somehow. I don't know.
For Barcelona, it's also about propaganda.
Yeah.
um, but
But
what
you
am
see, there is a huge contrast about
what
the
about Bernardo
ideology
Silva?
and the players they're chasing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What about Bernardo Silva?
I don't
Like
see a
he was
steam on that now. It's totally collapsed, probably.
if they want to like Chelsea won't let Kante for free or anywhere near uh, like at least 30 million.
So my
No.
question is, they're going for some of the free players, like Juventus used to go a few years back, right?
Mhm.
Like the free.
And look where it takes Juventus.
That's what I
Like
was going to go. It's
so,
it's a
yeah.
train wreck.
Funny thing is that like if you watch that Juventus versus PSG game, I actually watched it. There were a few academy players from Juventus.
No, no,
There were actually
I
from
get
Juventus.
that. I get that. We will talk about it at different time. But for
Yeah.
La Liga, what I was going to say is Real Madrid still on the top, hanging on, while Barcelona are just neck behind. I mean, just a point behind, and I think Real Sociedad was on third position, if I'm not mistaken, and they got beaten.
Let me check. Sociedad, yeah, got beaten against Betis.
Yes.
No, Atletico Madrid by goal difference.
So think of it. You got beaten by Cadiz, who's in 19th position, thanks to you. Um, but you're still on third, thanks to Real Betis. Actually, they've scored two goals in. Have you seen the goals? At least,
Yeah,
yeah, that
yeah,
was fantastic goals.
yeah.
Uh, yeah, and I think
But
Iglesias
yeah, Borja Iglesias.
is
That that was like sort of it, it is getting sort of like a trendy from Borja Iglesias, like scoring tap-ins from the second post or creating something from the second post.
yeah, he has something very different for a Spanish striker. Like he has this sense, and also he's big, and he has this willing to run at the far post, right? Which I hope Luis Enrique use him. But other than that, two Argentine coaches were sacked. Uh, no, actually one Argentine coach, and Unai Emery left Villarreal for another Villa, which is not
Aston
Sevilla but
Villa.
Aston Villa. So so Unai Emery left. Ex Barcelona coach Quique Setien came in for Villarreal. Then I think Eduardo Chacho Coudet was sacked from Celta Vigo. Um, he's free now. He's going to take over. While Sevilla is struggling hard, they're still on the relegation zone under Jorge Sampaoli. Sevilla does have some tough games, obviously, but still, I mean, they're not looking great.
For Sevilla, I was worried since the beginning of the season because I'm not sure about their transfer policy at all. Um,
I always have respect for Monchi. I don't know what happened this time, but they've got some money definitely with some big.
and I'm not sure about if they have money because like in January they definitely need some runners, like in every sort of positions, like in defensive position,
The only runner they
more
had,
maybe less.
they've loaned it to Ajax, I think, Ocampos.
I guess Papu Gomez is still there, but he's already like 30, 30. How much?
35. But
33, 34.
there's a
Uh,
fantastic stat about Papu is that Papu
but
is
Acuna is still there.
he's
They can.
on and off because of injury.
Yeah, and another thing is that like they don't have anyone who is running through middle. Like Rakitic is really old at this point. Um,
And they've got someone
no
who never would run,
winger.
like Isco. Isco.
No Isco.
He's the
They
most
really need.
anti runner.
Yeah, they really need to. How can I say reorganize this midfield, especially because if you are playing Isco as a winger or something like that, then you really need a like a really
And they have a huge
needs
derby this
speed.
weekend, the Sevilla derby.
I'm not sure, but it's sort of like you can predict what will be the result.
Yeah, with Real Betis running red.
But Villarreal got some money actually by the Unai Emery deal,
Yeah.
so they you can see they will invest.
By the way,
But
to the Girona won against Athletic Bilbao, so Girona is on a run. But the other team is actually doing fairly well and going under the radar is Osasuna, doing fairly well for their team.
yeah, yeah, we have to mention also Bilbao because like how they played for they had a good run um,
Yeah.
before Girona. What? Sorry, what you were saying?
No, I was talking about Osasuna. I think I'm fairly impressed by them. They're winning any kind of close duels. They're winning it. Um, they're pretty direct, pretty compact on the back as well, and they've quite a bit of. I can't remember if Osasuna team has a very well fluid structure like this Osasuna team. So I think I'm enjoying this.
Also, Valencia is doing sort of similar things.
Uh, yes, yes, but Valencia is a different story under Rino Gattuso. Um,
But they look well
the other
so far.
team actually started fairly well. Espanyol started fairly well,
No,
but
they're
they just
they're
faded, and
yeah
going out. Um,
they're probably in the relegation zone, but I'm not
yeah,
sure.
on 16th, currently sitting out. But I'm a big fan of Chacho Coudet, especially not because of Celta, because of his racing days. But I hope a good team finds him, and also Elche. I don't know why they've hired Almiron again. I mean, Almiron had 12 games with them a year before, never won any game, and right now he's just beat his current streak. He never won, I think, in this whole season. So yeah, I don't know why they have actually rehired him. There must be something. Um, but yeah, that's
Probably money issue. This sort of things happens in
yeah.
Spanish league.
I'm a little bit of because Argentine. Some of the young players are coming into Elche. Especially Lothar Blanco, the left wing back of Rosario Central. I like him quite a lot, and I do hope he doesn't come into a team that is relegating.
In a way, well, that would be disappointing actually for him.
Yeah,
Disappointing start.
yeah. But yeah,
But
we can move on from La Liga if we want.
yeah, of course. Um, I guess like there's nothing to add actually.
We were talking
But
about some.
yeah, but one more thing, like, have you like noticed the change, like a shifting change in playing style in La Liga this season? Um,
Yes and no. I know
what do
it's
you
a
mean?
yes. There's a certain teams are playing in certain directions, especially Gattuso coming in, and we're talking about Valencia. Valencia is playing very differently.
Yeah,
Like Valencia is just sit deep, but this time around there is more. They're trying to go into transition, trying to capture. opponent as soon as possible. Teams like Celta Vigo didn't change. That's why they're struggling. Uh, I think Athletic Bilbao looked very sharp, to be honest, but they always been, except one or two games, especially against Barcelona. Valverde is a I think a very solid coach to have that. Um,
And he's not that defensive at all. Like
no,
because
this
like
team is not defensive. This team
no,
is not. He's solid, let's say solid, not defensive. Real Sociedad, I think, on the other hand, is actually playing some fantastic football. They always have.
yeah, I
Um,
was surprised actually. I asked that question because I know Betis and Sociedad is like really close.
yes,
Um, uh, Also like their playing styles sort of similar, but
fairly similar.
also yeah, also like the region is just same. But the thing is that like Betis at this point, and how Sociedad is performing, especially in Europe, and uh, the matches before actually, I did not actually expect. I sort of I was expecting a draw, you
But
know.
what I meant by Sociedad is more physical team. I can see now.
Yeah,
They were always technical team, but they're
yeah.
more physical team, physical elements in there, especially in the transition. They're very fast. Um, who else caught my eye? Osasuna? I think on the transition, very good. Um, at least against certain teams, the weaker teams, they're very ruthless. I've also seen the other team is not really fast. It's actually, I mean, it could be. Unai Emery used to like with Villarreal. He used to like quick transition, but they have Morales up front. The Comandante is aging. He's not in his best form, so they need someone really firing up on that side. And under Kike Setien, I don't know. It may be more attractive. He's very philosophical coach, so let's wait and see how, how that's going to play.
Yeah, but he will need a little bit time to, you know. Uh,
He has World Cup.
mm, yeah, but let's see. But what I'm trying to say, like this season, I think La Liga is getting a little bit faster.
Yeah, it definitely is. Definitely, yeah. Uh,
Um,
because Real Madrid is faster. Uh, you have Barcelona is pretty quick actually for La Liga standards. You have Real Sociedad, very fast team. You have Athletic Bilbao, very fast team. I'm missing Real Betis is also very fast,
mhm.
very skillful and technical too. Um,
Villarreal is also fast.
yeah, especially the I mean the younger players are
Yeah.
really fast. But yeah, there and Valencia too. Valencia is very fast to play against. The only question mark I have is at Atletico Madrid.
Atletico.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, true. Um, yeah, I don't have anything to add actually so
No,
far.
I was going to say, except we were initially touching on the injury list of the World Cup
Oh
that
yeah,
we talked about Leipzig's Werner not going into World Cup, and there's
yeah,
Leroy Sané is a question mark too, as far as I know.
yeah.
But there are other players who are not going, especially Mr. Paul Pogba.
Oh yeah, that's like ancient news.
No, I know, but still, it's
I
N'Golo
have
Kante.
seen him in the Juventus game. He was in the stand.
Okay, I
The
was.
Juventus versus PSG game.
He never put a step into the game, Juventus team in this entire season. Um, the other, yeah, exactly. Have you seen him play? I'm pretty sure he
No,
hasn't. Um, the other is N'Golo Kante. He can play for France team. Uh, who else is missing? I think Benzema is still injured, but he's
no, he's not that actually. But
expected to
it's
back.
more like yeah, he's more like
Knock.
precautionary. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Um, but I think who else missing? Dybala is going to miss the World Cup
No,
for
no, no,
sure.
no, no, no. His today's news is Dybala is actually getting fit to play against Torino, so he's
Oh,
almost back.
wow, that's a shocker.
Yeah,
I thought
it's
he's lost already.
well, no,
But
that's a different
what about?
issue that if he doesn't get because those muscle things can reoccur. So he has to take care. The other is Giovanni Lo Celso of Argentina. He
Yeah,
has a. It was thought of a minor, but then it became a major one. Now there is two ways of defining it. Is that he has to either operate. If he operates, he can't be in the World Cup 8 weeks, 2 months out. And if he goes through the rehab, it might take a month, which would make him not available for at least the group games. He might be back on the knockout stages, but then it's
month
taking
like
huge chance.
yeah, there were talks like he will miss the first game for sure.
But that
Um,
was
he,
old news.
he's oh okay,
That
but
was old news.
yeah, like I heard so far like he's trying to get back in the second game, like or third
No,
game.
no, 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 no. If the rehab process goes well, then he might miss like 4 weeks. That means he'd be back in the time of knockout games, but not for the group games.
But hey, here's this good thing about this World Cup is like with five substitution and like 26 players they can take, and before that it was 23.
Yeah, but the last time an Argentine was injured and they were taken, it was 2014. Augusto Fernandez from Celta at that point to Atletico Madrid, but he never played a minute.
Lanzini in 2018,
He was never
he was
picked up on the
yeah
team. I'm talking about someone who was
yeah.
picked up with injury.
Oh, okay.
Augusto Fernandez was the last one in 2014, but he never played a minute.
Yeah.
Uh, so it's a tough one because the muscle one it can come
But
back.
they need yeah they need Lo Celso as well,
Yeah, Loch also is someone like almost
but they
every.
can actually manage of that as well. Like the quality of players. Like McAllister can play any of these three
No, no, no. I,
positions.
I, I understand, but it's it.
Even he can play as a Lionel Messi substitute.
No, 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 no. That's not. I think Lo Celso on that team makes it more beautiful and attacking, and
Yeah.
also his work rate with Messi as well as on the left flank, whoever playing Acuna or Tagliafico or Nico Gonzalez or whoever it is, his link up is something that. And also the
Also,
other part is he's a left-footed player. You need a left-sided player,
yeah, that is the thing I was going to mention actually. But other than him, there isn't any left-footed player.
unless Paulo Dybala plays. But
No, Dybala won't play.
but then
Oh, Di Maria can play.
yeah, but then we are talking about someone like there was a stat for the entire Argentine qualifier. He's the co joint co like the top assist provider,
Provider. Yeah.
and Messi received the most ball from him, 193 passes from Lo Celso. So that gives you an idea that how important he is for that team
Also,
to function.
they used to switch positions. Like sometimes Messi becomes 8 and he becomes 10, and that actually confuses the midfielder or whoever tracking Messi or like men marking him or
So yeah,
something
it's
like that.
it will be. I understand McAllister can play everywhere, or even they might. I mean, the most I would like to see Buendia. I know Buendia won't go, but it could have been even Thiago Almada. He can play, but he probably is too young. And second is
But
he's
isn't there any left-footed player?
not on that midfield. No,
Fernandez is not left-footed.
not on that midfield. No, it's
Oh
someone that
yeah,
very fairly unique, and also his IQ, football IQ is something.
yeah,
Um,
true.
So yeah, that would be huge miss if he and I think Scaloni was mentioning that he will wait, but he'll take the players who would be fit for first game, not for that, because it's he's saying that 7 games technically if we reach the final, but it would be stupid to think that we'll qualify for the second round.
That's true actually. That is true actually. Like, um, well, with national team, there are sometimes issues like if the famous one with Ronaldo and 98. You know, fit how fit he was. He couldn't even made it to the uh, main team. But but
98 or 94?
again, 98, Ronaldo in the final.
Oh
He was
right,
playing.
the final game. Yeah, that he
Yeah,
was
but
dizzy or
he was
something.
he shouldn't even be in the squad. Romario was in form as well, although he's older. But yeah, they can actually play Romario and play Rivaldo.
Mhm. But yeah, that and obviously we have just talked about Warner and some of the other players. Also, there was some
Reece
no
James already out of the World Cup
Ricky.
probably.
Yeah, he's out.
Um, I'm not sure about Kyle Walker or Reece James. There was a talk actually, but I'm not sure. Like if the coaches like what Scaloni said, it's like it would be stupid to see like everyone is going to play. And also there is another thing like there will be for sure like injuries in the World Cup.
Oh yeah,
So
oh yeah.
because it's in the middle of the
So you
like
want to take all the fit
season.
players?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
It's sort of like all deck in hands, you know.
exactly. At that point.
Yeah, but it will be he will be missed, of course, if he's not
Yeah,
played.
it's
Uh,
every time you see a good Argentine performance against Uruguay, or even I was actually thinking a game this February. Argentina was playing without Messi and without Di Maria also against Colombia, the qualifier.
yeah,
They won that 3 nil. Obviously, Papu and Lo Celso played together. But that was one of the most interesting game that how those two managed to put that attack and free flowing football going. Paredes had a brilliant game too, but again that shows the caliber of Lo Celso and also the game against Italy that they've won against in the Wembley. Lo Celso was vital. So yeah, he's a someone I can see on that list of players, you can replace others with some other things, but yeah, his quality is
but it would
going to
be
be.
different output. It's not that it would be the same, you know.
No, no. But by the way, I think there was one Brazilian player too. Was not. I was not sure who else was missing, but then there are a lot of other games still remain to play, and
For Brazil, I'm not sure like if they're missing any attacker, right? I don't see them missing any of them.
no, they're not. But how do you see that there's this Winter Games, Winter World Cup, but the game being played in the leagues just a week before, like on 12th, and it's starting on 20th.
I see it's an opportunity for some so-called minos to make something in the World Cup in the first game, you know,
Yeah.
if you want to make a statement. So sometimes the first game actually set out the tone for the whole tournament, you know.
So at least Qatar
So
is preparing.
um, with Qatar or some other teams, they have like 6 preseason games, the pre-World Cup games. Qatar, Morocco, some Arabic team. I forgot which one.
I think
No, I
Qatar
cannot
or Saudi
remember.
Arabia. I can't remember.
Saudi Arabia probably.
Yes.
They have actually like yeah, they have like 6 preseason game. No,
Okay.
Morocco actually have 6 preseason game.
So they're
So
preparing for Canada.
Yeah, I think so. So that's a bad news for you.
I don't think so. I'll be happy if they. I mean, yeah, it's going to be good to watch. Yeah,
Yeah, but yeah, what I'm saying, it will be a little bit hard because of the team combination. You cannot expect a understanding in like 12, 8 days, right? Oh wow, it's short, really short. Well, yeah, it would be more like first group stage matches would be more like pre-season friendly or something like that at some
but then
point.
those games are
Yeah.
very important, right? I know.
Yeah, and I can understand why Scaloni is saying that now. Also, uh, I watched Gareth Southgate's interview as well, and there was this right wing back position because his system is fairly simple, like 3-4-3 or 3-5-2 or something like that. If they're including Bellingham, it would be like 3-5-2 or something like that. But um, what I'm saying, like that right wing back position is also like Kyle Walker is also injured. But there are some good options as well. Like Trippier is a good option.
Yeah, it's a
Um,
very good option actually.
yeah, he can actually take free kick as well, free kick corners, stuff like that.
Yeah, I rate highly
Um,
Trippier.
yeah, also like they have different midfielders, different sort of profiles. Like James Ward-Prowse,
Hmm.
I'm a huge fan of his
Hmm.
work. Also, I think who else is from England
But the
is injured?
problem is, uh,
Stones is also was also
no,
injured. So like,
but the problem
but
is,
Ben White can play that position.
yeah. Problem is that whoever played before is injured right
Yeah,
now. So all you're
yeah,
doing is
that is the
experimenting in
problem.
the World Cup. You cannot really do that. Not supposed to do that,
Yeah,
but yeah,
yeah, but what you can, what else you can do? Like not playing the World Cup or something is not an option, you know.
send the Aston Villa team under Unai Emery.
Yeah,
It would be interesting.
yeah.
Um,
But yeah, like recently Bukayo Saka was injured.
mhm.
It was sort of like a, and also like a, um, Varane was like crying out
Yeah,
at the stadium, but
yeah.
I'm not sure about his situation. Is he
I don't.
playing?
Again, France had some. I think the other Umtiti is not playing for sure because he's not even the radar.
No, there are so many players. Like also, I guess this French player Chelsea bought Fofana. Fofana is also
Fofana
injured.
injured. Yes.
Fofana is also injured. Like 15 of the first team players are injured from France.
Yeah, there's a
And
lot in France. Yeah, for sure.
yeah, like the whole.
It's saying that he'd be available for the selection of the France team, so he's going to
Oh,
play
okay.
in the World Cup.
Because Varane is the centerpiece right now of this whole defense, right,
Where
for France.
for France? Okay.
Yeah.
I was not sure if Kim Pembe is actually is
No,
injured.
Kimpembe played like 2 weeks ago.
Okay,
I surprised him.
so
So,
yeah, that sounds all good.
but
Memphis Depay
what?
is probably gonna be ready as well.
But there was this issue for his game time. I'm not sure, but it's not going to be an issue for Bengal.
No, Van Gaal
He's going to
knows
play him anyway. But that Dust team can play like 3-4 different uh, types
ways.
of system, and
Mhm.
yeah, so
I actually
they
think
can get away with it
people are
actually.
not focusing much on this Dutch team. They can do well.
Yeah, we will do that actually before the just before after the squad. When will it
I think
announced?
the November 14th.
Oh, oh man, it's like really close, like 6 days ago. You're not
Yeah, yeah,
20th. Yeah, on the 20th there will be the first match, right?
yeah.
So like 6 days ago, you
I
don't
I
even know,
I
like a
think
week
the
ago,
players would
if
know.
you're going here.
I think the players would know.
Oh, okay, yeah, like
Uh,
probably the like the personal text from coach, like
or call. Yeah, normally they call.
yeah, yeah. you are going or something like that. But there are like lately I am getting actually scared, like since Timo Werner injured and out of the World Cup,
Yeah,
because
it is scary.
it is scary, like for some team, like we can expect, like some team depends on only one players, and you don't want to miss them, and like it won't be fun, to watch those teams in the World Cup.
I don't mind seeing Germany. Germany is playing, I think, first
No,
game. Like,
For Germany, it's like he's sort of like a only one striker right now.
I think they're playing first game against Japan, and
Yeah,
Japan is the first
yeah.
World Cup team who have,
Tomiyasu also injured.
yeah, first World
Yeah,
Cup
no.
team they've already declared their squad.
No,
The
okay.
Japanese.
Tomiyasu is there
Let me double check.
because he was injured in the last Arsenal game. He just came in and as a substitute, and he was substituted minutes after.
No, I think uh, he's still kind of injured. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah,
He's injured so far I know.
he's
But
injured.
if Japan is sitting it out or something like that, that's what I'm wondering.
Yeah,
But for Japan, Korea is, like I think this guy
Son
from
is injured.
yeah, Sony is injured. I was going to mention that actually. For us, like Asian teams, for those guys are like, like we don't have that much options, like
Hmm.
so
Now you can replace Son.
Sony, yeah. But this young guy will go probably from Frankfurt. He played fairly well so far, but I'm not sure actually because
Are we talking about Kamada?
not Kamada. There is another guy.
Oh, okay,
Oh yeah, no, sorry, it's from Freiburg. Sorry,
right,
the
right,
attacking midfield that I mentioned when I was reading.
right.
Yeah, but mm, like Son is irreplaceable. That's what I'm saying. Like some of the players, like
Hmm.
they can actually like level up the whole team,
Yeah, yeah.
and other players are like played for them, and it's a good thing. Like Neymar did not play last two games
Yeah.
in a way.
Well, then he can get injured in the World Cup, right?
Yeah. Well, for him, it's not like a new thing. He did it in the 2014.
Yeah. But I guess we have to wrap it up.
Yeah.
It's going over 2 hours. Um, anything final? Uh,
No, not really, but
but I will
my
have to think about our World Cup coverage, and we'll come back to that. How you want to do it? But again, thank you for making some time and talk about Bundesliga, La Liga, and a little bit of other things.
thank you too.